بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. يحاول بعض المتعصبين لنظرية التطور إيهام الناس أن هذه النظرية أصبحت أمرا واقعا وحتمية علمية، وأن الغرب جميعه علماءه وطلابه آمنوا بهذه النظرية واعترفوا بها، ويحاولون إقناعنا أنه لا يكاد يخرج أحد عن تأييد هذه النظرية. لكن الواقع أن هذا الأمر فيه كثير من المبالغة والادعاء والكذب. فطائفة العلماء الذين اتخذوا موقفا من هذه النظرية طائفة كبيرة جدا، منهم العلماء القائلين بنظرية التصميم الذكي وعلماء آخرون، بل أن بعض هؤلاء العلماء وصل به الأمر إلى السخرية من بعض علماء هذه النظرية الذين ما فتئوا ليل نهار يبشرون الناس بها. ومن هؤلاء المهاجمين لهذه النظرية البروفيسور جيمس تور. من هو البروفيسور جيمس وما مكانته العلمية ولماذا اتخذ هذا الموقف من النظرية وما رأيه في بعض القائلين بهذه النظرية ولماذا فضحهم؟ هكذا لا نعلق، فقط نستمع إلى هذا البروفيسور.
If anybody should be able to understand evolution, it is me. Because I make molecules for a living. And I don't just buy a kit and mix this and get that. I mean, ab initio, I make molecules. I understand how hard it is to make molecules. I understand that if I take nature's toolkit, it can be much easier. Because all the tools are already there, and I just mix it in the proportions that, and I do it under these conditions, but ab initio is very, very hard. I don't understand evolution. And I will confess that to you. Is it okay for me to say that I don't understand this? Is that all right? I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't understand anything about organic synthesis, but they understand evolution. I understand a lot about making molecules. I don't understand evolution. And you would say that, wow, I must be really unusual. Let me tell you what goes on in the back rooms of science. With National Academy members, with Nobel Prize winners, I have sat with them, and when I get them alone, not in public, because it's a scary thing if you say what I just said. And I say, do you understand all of this, where all of this came from, and how this happens? Every time that I have sat with people who are synthetic chemists, who understand this, they go, nope. These people are just so far off on how they believe this stuff came together. I have sat with National Academy members and Nobel Prize winners. Sometimes I will say, do you understand this? And if they're afraid to say yes, they say nothing. They just stare at me because they can't sincerely do it. I was once brought in by the dean of the department once, and many years ago, and he was a chemist, and he was kind of concerned about some things. I said, let me ask you something. You're a chemist. You understand this? How do you get DNA without a cell membrane? How do you get a cell membrane without a DNA? How does all this come together for this? He said, we have no idea. I said, isn't it interesting that you, the dean of science, and I, the chemistry professor, can talk about this quietly in your office, but we can't go out there and talk about this? If you understand evolution, I am fine with that. I'm not going to try to change you, not at all. In fact, I wish I had the understanding that you have. But about 7 or 8 years ago, I posted on my website that I don't understand. And I said, I will buy lunch for anyone that will sit with me and explain to me evolution, and I won't argue with you until I don't understand something. I will ask you to clarify. But you can't wave by and say, this enzyme does that. You got to get down in the details of where molecules are built for you. Nobody has come forth. The Atheist Society contacted me. Atheist Society contacted me. They said that they will buy the lunch. And they challenged the Atheist Society, go down to Houston, have lunch with this guy, and talk to him. Nobody's come. Now remember, because I'm just going to ask when I stop understanding what you're talking about, I will ask. So I sincerely want to know. I would like to believe it, but I just can't. Now I understand microevolution. I really do. We do this all the time in the lab. I understand this. But when you have speciation changes, when you have organs changing, when you have to have concerted lines of evolution all happening in the same place in time, not just one line, concerted lines, all in the same place, all in the same environment. This is very hard to fathom. I was in Israel not too long ago talking with a bioengineer. And describing to me the ear. And he was studying the different changes in the modulus of the ear. And I said, how does this come about? He says, oh, Jim, you know, we all believe in evolution, but we have no idea how it happened. You know,
ولا يزال الرجل منتظر من يأتي ويلبي الدعوة إلى تناول الغداء أو العشاء ويفهمه نظرية التطور. الغريب في الأمر أن بعض العرب الذين يروجون لهذه النظرية يحدثونك وكأنهم أعلموا وأعرفوا مئات المرات من هذا البروفيسور. فهل لا تطوع أحدهم ومعظمهم يعيشون في الغرب وتناول معه العشاء وشرح له هذه النظرية؟ لا تعلم. أما الفيديو الثاني فهو عبارة عن استطلاع لبعض الأساتذة والطلاب، كلهم ملحدون، كلهم متخصصون في الأحياء، والسؤال أو الأسئلة تدور حول نظرية التطور. ستدهشون عندما ترون الإيمان الأعمى الذي يصفون به المؤمنين. ستجدون الآن الإيمان الأعمى عندهم بنظرية لم يفهموها أحد. إلى الفيديو.
You're leaning that way because of evolution?
Yeah. I don't believe in there's a guy in the sky that lives in the sky.
You believe in evolution?
Of course I do, yes.
Live science says of Darwinian evolution, it can turn dinosaurs into birds, apes into humans, and amphibious mammals into whales.
What Darwin showed in his work on evolution and natural selection is that we don't need to invoke any supernatural force or power to account for the development of life through time on Earth.
More like facts. There is too much evidence. It's the way it happens. You know, all the scientists pretty much agree with it. It's more of a fact.
When did you start to believe?
When I started to think for myself.
When did you start believing?
When I took my first biology class.
It all started to make a lot of sense. The teacher made it very, very easy to understand. I generally trust the scientific community. It makes more sense than any religion or anything. The fossils they found of all the cavemen, the Homo sapiens, dinosaurs, it shows clear evidence.
I believe in science.
What's your major here at this university?
Biology.
Your biology major?
Yeah.
You believe in evolution?
Yes.
What's your major?
Geology.
Chemistry?
Biochemistry.
Environmental science and policy. I'm a physicist. Biochemistry.
Hey, do you believe in evolution?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do believe in evolution.
Are you a strong believer?
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A scientific method is based on the collection of data through observation and experimentation. Science Daily.
Could you give me some observable evidence that evolution is true? Something I don't have to receive by faith.
Yeah.
Some observable evidence.
I mean, take a look at what happened 65 million years ago.
Hang on, I can't. That's 65 million years ago.
I believe, millions of years.
So that can't be observed.
Hundreds of thousands to millions of years?
So it's quite a long time. Yes. Millions of years. Yes. So it can't be observed. You've got the canine kind, the coyote, and the domestic dog, and there's the feline kind, which is the cats, the tiger and the kitten, and you've got humankind. So Darwin said there'd be a change of kinds over many years. So could you give me one example of observable evidence of a change of kinds?
So, for instance, the fossil record shows the common ancestors of all carnivores, that cats and dogs were once linked, united by a common ancestor.
How long ago?
This, I believe, was like 60 million years ago.
Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution where he said there'd be a change of kinds?
Monkey to man, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, a change of kinds.
I don't really believe there's any proof for that yet.
Koalas have a fifth digit. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Kangaroo evolved from koalas.
I know that everyone talks about the missing link for humans and whatnot. I believe that there are connections that are out there that we haven't found yet.
I'm going to trust what those experts came up with.
I have a strong trust in evolutionary ideas based on the evidence presented.
Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds?
I haven't seen it myself, but I believe what the textbooks tell me about it, so...
You've got faith in the expert?
I have faith in the experts, yeah. I guess similar to how religious people have faith that God actually exists, I have faith in the experts knowing what they're talking about.
The scientific method must be observable and repeatable. So could you give me one piece of observable evidence for Darwinian evolution?
Okay, I would point to, as one great example is look at the genetics of the stickleback.
What's that?
So stickleback fish are a very interesting collection of species that were recently isolated after the end of the Ice Age.
What have they become?
They're various species of sticklebacks.
They stayed as fish?
Well, of course.
Can you think of any observable evidence where there was a change of kinds?
Fish.
Human beings are still fish.
Human beings are fish?
Why, yes, of course they are.
How long did that take?
A couple billions of years, millions.
A couple of millions? How is that observable?
It's not.
We came out of the ground as a mammal, and one mammal created...
Come out of the ground? Didn't we come out of the sea?
Huh? Well, initially in the beginning, we came out of the ground and the sea. After the great destruction of the...
So did we have lungs or gills when we came out of the sea?
You want to know something? Those that were in the sea, I guess, had gills, and those that were on land had lungs.
But if we came out of the sea, we had gills in the sea.
You want to know something? Who knows that we came out of the sea or we evolved from mammals?
So you don't know?
Huh? Of course I don't know.
I'm accepting that they did their science correctly.
Could you give me an example of Darwinian evolution, not adaptation or speciation, but a change of kinds?
These are changes of kinds.
They're still fish.
They're distinctly different fish.
We have thousands of examples.
Can you give me one?
I can give you thousands.
Just one.
For instance, I would say look at Lenski's experiments with bacteria. Then.
So what do the bacteria become?
The bacteria are still bacteria, of course.
That's not Darwinian evolution. That's not a change of kinds, is it?
It is a change. It is a change in the genetic makeup of the bacteria, which is
still bacteria. Summarize the observable evidence that you give me for Darwinian evolution as bacteria becoming bacteria.
No, it is bacteria acquiring new metabolic capabilities.
You said before that there is lots of evidence for evolution. I just want one observable evidence for Darwinian evolution. No, just one.
But I gave you some. You don't want...
Not some, I want one.
You don't want that.
I want one. Yes, I do. I'm pleading with people.
You asked me to tell you when I've watched one species evolve into another. Isn't that right?
No, one kind into another. There's 14 different definitions of species. So I want a change of a kind.
It has nothing to do with faith. Faith is something that I have to, unseen, I have to believe in.
That's it, unseen. Look, do you believe evolution?
Of course I do.
Are you a believer in evolution?
Yes, I am.
When did you start to believe evolution?
I started to believe evolution when I started to think out for myself.
It's evolution of belief.
Well, you know something. Evolution is a thought process. Is coming to terms and checking out all the alternatives, like taking a look at the religion, man-made religions.
Let me ask you again: is evolution a belief?
No, evolution is, well, yeah, in a word, yeah, I could say it could be a belief.
Give me one instance.
Yeah, we have an example from a group of birds called Darwin's finches.
You take a look at the difference between the finches on the islands that all started out. I mean, that's very, very observed.
But that's not Darwinian evolution. There's been no change of kinds. What do the finches become?
They become genetically new and anatomically new, recognizably different species.
They're still finches?
Well, of course, they're still finches. Yeah,
there's no change of kind.
Little birds that he had observed.
What did they become?
Their beak shapes.
They're still birds.
Yes, 3 finches that turned into different types of birds.
They're still finches.
On the island that he went on to there.
Their beaks changed?
Their beaks.
Darwin spoke of a change of kind. Can you think of any observable evidence for Darwinian evolution with this?
Change of kind. I'm gonna have to think about that one a little longer.
You give me anything that I can see, observe, and test, which is a scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds.
Test and observe.
Could you give me observable evidence, which is the scientific method for Darwinian evolution, a change of kinds?
I would say
I cannot, I think. It's a hard question, actually. DNA. So, can you repeat the question again?
Could you give me any observable evidence, just one, for Darwinian evolution?
Let me think about that for a second.
Observable evidence, something where we don't have to exercise faith. Something that can be observed, like the scientific process, observable.
That's a good question. That one I'm not quite sure.
You can't think of any observable evidence for evolution?
No.
How do you know it's true?
I'm not sure.
So Darwinian evolution is not observable, it's not scientific.
I guess so.
So it's unscientific, you can't prove it.
It's scientific, actually. You could prove it. It could be proven, just...
Do it for me.
That's hard. That's just too broad of a...
Unobservable, that's why you need millions of years.
Yes, exactly.
You're trusting the biology majors and the biology professors know what they're talking about, and they can't even give me evidence of a change of kinds.
Well, then there isn't one. If they don't give it, then I wouldn't say there was.
I just go on what I've seen and what I've learned from class.
So you believe?
Yeah.
You know what that's called?
What?
Blind faith.
Blind faith.
Faith is the great cop-out, the great excuse to evade the need to think and evaluate evidence. Richard Dawkins.
وبعد هذه المشاهدة أظن أنني لا أحتاج إلى أي تعليق. لا أظن أن الأمر يحتاج إلى تعليق. ومع هذا يصف هؤلاء المتدينين بأنهم مقلدون وأن تديننا أعمى وأننا نغيب العقل عندما نؤمن بقرآن يبدأ بإقرأ ويدعو للعلم وتتكرر فيه الآيات الدالة على التفكر، بل يذهب إلى القول أن الذين يخشون الله هم العلماء، ويثني كثيرا على العلماء فيقول: قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون واسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون. كل هذا الاحتفاء بالعلم والعلماء في القرآن. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.